Hey, welcome back to the Real Estate Excellence Podcast, where we bring you the stories and strategies behind real estate industry's top performers and most disruptive companies. Today's episode is focused on a brokerage that's shaking up the traditional model and giving agents something they've never had before, a tech-first platform with a true ownership, scalable support in multiple streams of income, from cutting-edge tools and national masterminds to stock programs, revenue sharing. That is not just another brokerage, it's a movement. If you've been asking what's Real Brokerage really about, or wondering if it's the right fit for agents at any level, this conversation will give you everything you need to know. Joining me today, Gigi Urbanski and Mike Rolewicz, two outstanding leaders of Real Brokerage, to break it down. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Ladies, perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
We're done.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
We're done.
Thanks, Mike and Gigi.
I think you missed one thing on the intro.
What did I miss on that intro?
Real Brokerage is a movement, but you also wear Nikes. You don't have to wear heels anymore if you're with Real.
Oh, is that right? Is that the dress code?
That's what we
It seems highly encouraged.
Is that right?
A lot of sneakerheads at the company.
Well, we've been talking here all this morning before the show about ChatGPT. So what I did last night when I was asking, hey, what key topics we want to make sure we bring up and so forth, I loaded into ChatGPT and said, okay, create me an intro and then create me some questions based on these topics and put them in order so it flows through the show. And
Nice.
it created
Nice work.
Yes.
All right. Here we go.
It gives me some really good eloquent intros because I've been taking actually with the individual agents when I interview them, is upload their bio and then say, create me an intro on this person. And it
I'm glad you
makes
didn't
me
do
sound
that
like
in
I'm
this case.
yeah.
Nice.
Thank you for not doing that.
But it's commonly out there, as we were just talking about. People are asking about Real. It seems to be. I think if there's any of the cloud-based brokerages, especially if there's anything that's being talked about most, Real. But it's probably LPT is probably actually newer, right? Real's been around more than LPT, but LPT's kind of quieted down. But Real is still, to me, there's still excitement there. I'm still seeing. But again, I'm going to ask you guys. I don't know if it's because of your leadership and the agents that are surrounded around, the amount of social media you guys are putting out, the activities that you guys are doing is creating a buzz. So, is it just locally, or are we still is Real seeing this nationally, Mike?
Oh, it's national. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were talking earlier about the Q1 report, 61% agent growth. Now we're at 27,000 agents. As the numbers get bigger, the percentages usually have to shrink, right? Same with transaction volume. So either revenue or transactions were up 75 or 80% respectively. Mm-hmm. So it tells me very productive, high-producing agents are finding out about Real and joining the company. Because when the agent count goes up by 61, but the revenue and the transaction counts go up by more, it tells you that per agent productivity is really, really strong. And I think there's agents that are just realizing, I need a more efficient model. Mm-hmm. I need better tech. I need everything in one place on my phone. And that's what drove me and my team there, right? It was obviously the people that were already there that I knew and liked and respected, and you kind of see what they're doing. Like, it seems all right. Seems like something I may want to be a part of.
Knowing your team of ladies there, there's 4 or 5, right? There's 6 of you, 7 of you?
Three agents in production, plus Adnana, the rock star ops director,
right,
who's also licensed, but she doesn't transact.
Right. And things are moving so fast. You know, these big brokerages, your KWs, your Coldwell Bank or whatever, they're trying to do this back office operations, their CRMs, all the things that we all operate off of. Real is packaging that for you. Mm-hmm. So making a team leader who's in production to still continue doing what you're doing, do what you love to do, which is, I assume, sell.
Right.
In that, and really letting that technology, letting them just handle that and plugging everyone in. Is that a good description?
Yeah, it's truly the reZen app. It's on your phone. It's on your desktop. They look exactly the same. Mm-hmm. So what we found is, since we've joined Real, a lot of the questions that the agents and myself would have for Adnana, we don't need to go to her as much because it's all there. When do I get my commission? What is my commission? How am I against my cap? What has my stock awards been? It's all there.
Right.
And even inside of a transaction, who's the title, who's the lender, agent on the other side, it's all there. So that's been a time savings for us. And then when you can put a listing in and within an hour or two, it's saying, hey, Marketing Center's ready for you. Go ahead and do whatever shareables you want, whatever printables you want. It's all right there.
Are they? I imagine it sounds. We've been chatting here all morning about AI and all the different that there's a lot of AI going on in the background to get it done that fast.
A ton, yeah. It's called the Leo Copilot.
Right.
So I can go in there and just ask Leo whether it's about a transaction or, hey, I remember seeing a training about something. Can you help me find that in the Real Academy?
You also have, and I don't want to. I want to make sure that we address this because I'm sure somebody watching is saying, "But you don't have an office or you don't have a real person." Yes, we do. So we work in collaboration. So we have an AI assist, Leo.
Yeah.
But then we also have a wealth of agents just in Northeast Florida and different communities that we've created online. We have each other. We have our teams. But then we also have a broker support that we can go through. We can email. We can call. So we still have all of the same things we'd have in a brick and mortar building. We just get to choose which building we sit in.
One probably with a lot less rent than some of these places are paying for.
Well, I mean, mine is because it's my house. So
exactly.
Current situation is zero.
I see. Not as cheap as my house, but I like having a place to go to. So that's why we opened ours.
Everyone has a different model the way they do things, and whether it's a retail front or whatever. But that's part of the overhead. That's part of your, when you start slicing up who's getting what of the commissions, paying for that nice space is part of that deal.
And where do most real estate transactions and relationship building and conversations happen?
Right.
Most people don't want to come just to an office. Mike has an office. He meets clients there, but typically you go to coffee shops.
A lot of coffee shop meetings. I had this grand vision that it would become this gathering place, and all the agents they're out running and gunning.
Yeah.
And I thought back to my days at brick and mortar brokerages. The people I would see there the most were not the high producing agents. Those people were out hustling and getting deals done and meeting clients and building relationships. So, that's something, and I know, Tracy, you wanted to touch on who's real for, who's it not for. If you really, really love whatever that looks like at a brick and mortar brokerage of whatever that collaboration or community is, might not be for you, right? It's like, it's one of these things, nothing's a 10 out of 10.
But you can create it. I like collaboration. So Mike has an office. He's opened it up to all of us to come and use whenever we want. I don't know how many keys you've made at this point.
There's a few floating around out there.
83 maybe. I mean, I'm not trying to say numbers, but maybe 83
There's
keys.
a lot of keys out there.
So that's an opportunity. But we're also teaching agents how to leverage partner relationships because there's a lot of lenders. There's a lot of title companies that have community spaces. We're meeting once a week in a community space, and it's great because agents do feel like they have somewhere to go, and they don't have to be there certain hours of the day, but they do have a place to go and bring their things and work in collaboration if they want to do that.
Right.
So it could be for someone who's used to a brick and mortar, but they just have to figure out what that's going to look like now. You don't go to one specific building. You have multiple options to go to.
Am I, to go back to the founding of the company, the gentleman who's created Real, or his vision, is really a tech person. He's not a real estate agent.
Right. No, Tamir would be not great in a transaction.
We love you, Tamir.
He'd be the first one to tell you.
Right.
Right? But he has built, agent-centric, I think, is overused, and that's where he looks at it and says, we're not agent-centric, we're entrepreneur-centric. We are building a platform to build your business on, where the business is Mike and Gigi and our brands, and Real is the platform. Sharon said it a different way, and this resonated with me. Real is not the destination, it's the vehicle, right? So my destination is having other income streams other than just commission income. I'm a 55-year-old man. I don't want to do this forever. So being able to layer in other things, that's where Real is the best vehicle for me and my team to do that. And that's what we found, and that's why we moved last year.
You gave
when
me.
he told me he was not going to move, just by the way, like 2 weeks prior. He was like,
I
I'm
don't
always
remember
wear
that
I'm going to wear this
conversation.
jersey forever. I'm not
I
changing
don't recall the
jerseys.
conversation.
And then
I don't recall that one. I do recall her calling me with a WTF in my DMs after the video
might have,
dropped.
might have.
Yeah.
And I will say that tagging on to him, so Mike runs a team of agents. I run an admin team. And that's what's really great about Real is you can have two different styles of business and use the vehicle of Real
Right.
to infuse it in, and it's going to work for you too. And so when we bring agents in, because I'm a solo agent, I do have a back-end admin team, mostly for my social media content, day-to-day interactions, transaction coordination, those kind of things. It can get busy when you attract 30 plus people in less than a year to a brokerage. And it's really been nice to say, let's jump on an onboarding call. Here's the tools. Let me make sure you know how to navigate this website. And every one of them that I've worked with have said, oh, this is a lot easier than I thought it was going to be switching brokerages. And, oh, you mean I just get the option to click how I want to learn as a new agent, a seasoned agent, or a top producing agent, and I can pick between? And it tells me exactly what to do every single day for 12 weeks? Yes. And that's what's made it easier for me to be able to still be in production, be relevant, attract agents, run a coaching business, but I also am getting compensated and a second stream of income for just doing that.
Well, I think you brought up something I didn't think of before, but not totally out of the blue. It makes sense. He's created, like you said, if you go to Keller Williams or Watson or something, that takes on a lot of brand new green agents. They have a plan, right? Hey, this is what you should be doing for 12 weeks, as you described there. Someone could plug in to Real, and they're already doing that. Where they have someone at Watson and some at Keller Williams, wherever they are in the country, creating those learning modules and all that stuff. This stuff is created. You could plug in, just like you or a big franchise of Keller Williams out here plugs into their mainframe. You're plugging in the Real, and you could do it yourself and create your own boutique brokerage around Real.
Correct.
Or not brokerage,
But you could feel like
group
that.
Or team.
And I guess the point with that I want to make sure is clear is that the way we are learning and who we're learning from are relevant real estate agents who have become experts in that area. So, for example, you can sign up as an agent, be vetted by the company to give back to the community, get rewarded for giving back. Mike can talk more about that. He's our numbers guy. So somebody like me, I'm known for open houses, right? I'm coming soon to a theater near you. I'm pretty sure I'll be on a webinar at Real. Sharon, come here. If you're watching, I'd love to do that for you. I would be teaching that open house strategy and opening up my playbook and saying, come learn with me. Instead of someone learning from someone perhaps that's done this in 1980 and they're teaching you how to door knock from 1980. It's not even relevant today because they're not an active agent. They don't really know what's the lingo, what's happening. That's what I found in Real was that everything was in one spot because we came from a company where they were there. It was like an Easter egg hunt. I don't know if you ever done one of those.
Yeah.
You find the rotten egg later. I loved the fact that I could find everything quickly at my fingertips. It was in a compressed, condensed version. You could be driving down the street listening to a podcast. It was very easy to implement in the business. And I like that I was learning from someone who's doing the business.
Yeah. You both have mentioned this, I guess we'll call it a portal that you're going in and all this information is there. I was just on this morning on our website because I needed my benefits card. And there's like all these links and like there wasn't even a search thing. So really gumpify how simple it sounds like. Obviously this gentleman's like an Elon Musk type character who's going on and then surrounds themselves with other people who are thinking at a high level and actually walking it through from the simple agent and what they would be going in every day and making that portal just as user friendly as it ever could be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's next level user friendly.
Yeah.
Right? Because so we both came from EXP. So when we needed broker support, you had to be on your desktop using their EXP world where you're these kind of wacky little avatars running around this little digital world.
I never could get mine to move, right?
Yeah, you can
She
never
got
get
stuck
it
in
to
the
move.
wall.
Yeah, you're like against the wall. But that's how you would get broker support. So now, Rezen, Leo Copilot, every transaction at the top, call your broker. So I think there's 6 or 7 brokers in a broker room every day in the state of Florida, and they just added another, where it calls the broker. As it's making that call, it's pulling up that same file on the broker side, so you're not wasting time when you get them on the phone. Tell them, oh, what transaction are we talking about? Who are you? Right? It's there. It records it. It puts it in that transaction for you. And then just simple things, right? Like knowing what your commission is going to look like hours after you upload a transaction. Most brokerages, it's got to go through a whole compliance process before you even have a sense of that. And that AI Copilot is also, as you're uploading documents, let's say you're opening a new contract, it's looking for signatures and initials and check boxes. So before it even goes to that transactions and compliance team, it's scrubbing it for you. Again, it's just a time saver.
Yeah.
And that's what's been amazing. And I like it because I can see they've got this wallet now. So when we do deals with new construction or when my revenue share hits, that just goes into an account that I've got a Visa that I can use against that. So it's cool in real time to see, oh, wow, when a Gigi squad just closed a transaction. Here's a couple shekels. It's awesome.
Yeah.
To see that layer in and it all literally be in one place. And the desktop and the phone app look very, very similar. You can find things real quickly.
You guys got my mind spinning actually this morning. I didn't think this was actually going to be.
We need to do a screen
I'm like,
share on
what?
these ends.
I
Should
start
we
right
do
now.
a screen share?
Well, if we can go off on the tail off, because as you were talking about commissions, obviously one of the challenges, we've talked about it. And we talked with what's the gentleman I had on your financial advisor, Bruce, yeah,
Align Money Mastery,
and in how. Well, a lot of small business owners are just all over the place financially. It sounds like this, I would imagine, just based on what you told me, is this also helping them with that part of the deal?
Yes. So
keeping their ducks in a row financially.
I use it for that. So every month I get on that call with Bruce, my husband, and I to do our personal and our business audit, which I've learned a fun fact, which is kind of scary. It's fun or it's scary. It's freaky. It's Friday. It's Freaky Friday. This is a freaky fact. What's the stat for agents that didn't do transactions last year? It was like 70%.
It was a
74, I think. 72, 74.
One of those, right? That's a lot of agents that paid money in to do no business. Okay, but what about the 30% that actually did transactions? 50% or more don't have a business plan and don't know their return on investment. They don't know their numbers. Right? So this has been a great tool because I'm sure I didn't know that a year ago until I met with Bruce. And then I got real smart with it. I can take this tool, open it up on my screen while I'm on my financial call with Bruce and say, this is what we're anticipating this month in revenue. This is what we're anticipating in rev share. Oh, and by the way, I want to talk to you about a couple investment opportunities I have with the brokerage and get your thoughts on how I should move forward. We're able to build the budget around that and with a 99% accuracy because I know what's in there.
It's allowing you to plug in your expenses from your open houses and stuff like that. Is that
not in that program, but you could build it from that. In the program I use with Bruce, it does. And so it's just nice to have up on the screen my reason, my budgeting screen, and Bruce and I can look at it together in real time and say, no, Bruce, I'm confident that this is how much is going to close. And I'm confident that this is what my rev share is because it's already been pre-scrubbed, like Mike said. So that's been a really nice tool. And if you're an agent that you don't have a business plan, our company's built one for you. All you have to do is click a button and watch it. And you can print the little worksheet out and fill it in to create your business plan. It's a one-page business plan. And he teaches you to focus on the top 3 things that need to be done each day. So for me, it was all about the simplicity. I mean, obviously, I saw Mike leave after telling me he wasn't taking a jersey off. And I went, there's got to be something. Like, if he's leaving, it's big. I need to check this out. And I had already capped with our previous brokerage, and that was leaving $15,000 on a table. Mike told me not to do that.
I did.
And I said, Mike, I'm doing it. After talking with my husband and thinking through, we left the $15,000 and we were able to cap within just a couple of months of coming to Real. And it was easy.
Everyone does this business differently. You know, of the nearly 250 agents that I've had on, everyone's doing it. You know, there's a lot of similarities. They're just, you know, are common topics, but everyone's doing it a little differently. How does Real handle that? You guys do your business differently. How friendly is it for someone to plug in? Someone might be listening right now. Well, I don't think I do business their way. Mike's got a team. Gigi's got admin support. I'm just a solo agent, or which I've known because I've interviewed some of them. I'm a brokerage right now, boutique brokerage right now with 10 agents. How does it absorb them in? How is it able to funnel them all in and work under Real?
Easier than you think. So we're a pro team at Real. So the way our team is structured, so as a team lead, I'm a full cap agent. So I'm paying 85, or the split is 85-15, up to 12,000 for me. My team agents are on a half cap because they have a split with the team, obviously. So they're 85-15 with the brokerage to $6,000. There are larger teams where the team agents are on a quarter cap, $3,000, because of the team splits. There are a lot of brokerages, to your point, indie brokerages, boutique brokerages, that are seeing what Real can offer their agents and realizing, okay, no one stays forever, right? Especially that teamerage model, I think, are the ones where Real is the best fit, because they just don't have the resources that a publicly traded company with $32+ million in cash in the bank have to offer agents. Because what their biggest pain point for a lot of these indie brokerages, and the reason I never opened a brokerage, like when I sold my staffing company, everyone, you can open a brokerage? I'm like, never. Last thing I want to do. I don't want the headaches. I don't want the compliance. But what they find is when people leave their brokerage or their team, they go to another brokerage. Real gives an opportunity for people, I would say, to graduate, let's say, from their team and go into solo production. Real's model is so efficient, people aren't going to want to leave the brokerage necessarily. And there's still a symbiotic relationship where that person is part of your network within Real. You still want them to succeed. So the flexibility around structuring your team is, I would say, hands down better than where we came from. Less rigid. So, and for solo agents, it's just a matter of, okay, if I'm producing this and I've got spreadsheets for like 6 different brokerages now where we kind of have an idea of what is your splits and caps, and some don't have caps. It's just an introduction to another higher split, but there's franchise fees. And when we model this out for folks, it's an aha moment for a lot. You realize it wasn't like 1,000 or 5, it's tens of thousands of dollars. And that's where some of the people that have come over have realized, okay, the alignment, which, like, everything has to add to 100 in any relationship, right? And if they feel at whatever split they're getting, the value of that brand or shield or whatever that is there, and the support, it's just some are realizing they're just a little out of alignment, where they feel like they're giving 80 and the company's only giving 10. Well, wait a minute, I need that other 10 from the company.
You were actively out, obviously, recruiting. Is that what you guys? No, you don't use the term. What term do you use?
Well, we don't have to.
Suggestive
No.
join the collaboration and
None.
rah-rah Gigi team? No.
None. I'm going to tell you, people ask Mike and I all the time, what are you doing to actively recruit? What's your recruitment plan? What's your strategy?
Right.
We don't have one. We found a product and a company to align with, to offer a service, to solve a need. We just share it like he just did.
Yeah.
And the beauty between this relationship, everyone asks, are we a team? Well, not really. But here's the cool thing about Real. You can be an unteamed team too. You can be a team in marketing if you want. You don't even have to have a split. You can have a marketing group.
Yeah.
But Mike and I work in alignment because we are so different. I mean, from height to from height down to the way we run our businesses. And the great thing is just last week we had an agent in my group asking about a brokerage that was considering their options. And I said, I'd love to help you. I think Mike's going to be better suited for that conversation. Within seconds, we were on a group text. He's already had a conversation, I think 2 or 3 now with them.
Yep, they're talking with onboarding now.
This is where I wanted to lead to.
Yeah, there's an indie broker, not in our market. They're south of us. But realizing this is an indie broker that realizes I don't want to run a brokerage anymore, nor do I necessarily care if any of the team follows me. Right. I want the best place for me to build my business.
So this is where I was, because I see some situations going on, and I see the movement of the agents going on, and the tech stack, if I want to use that fancy term, tech stack is becoming. There's a lot of stuff out there that we can get for a few dollars a month. But actually, how you bring it and how you present it, and actually, is your brokerage using it? So if you're a broker and you're out there doing your own sales, you're out there doing your own thing, you don't have time, or let alone the resources to hire some of these professionals to create this and then bring it to your people and actually show them how to use it, and then train them and train them and then train them again, and over again. And would you agree that with the way, obviously, technology is just moving faster and faster, and in the real estate industry, we were talking about tools this morning that you're using. The mom and pop brokerage is getting kind of hammered here because they just don't have the whereabouts or the I don't, what's the term I want to just
they don't have the bandwidth.
Bandwidth is a good word.
They
Yeah,
don't have the resources.
Yeah,
right. That's why I would never open my own brokerage.
Yeah.
Because I can't pay somebody $12,000 a year to handle all the compliance headaches of a team that sells 80 to 100 homes a year. I certainly don't want to do that. So the $12,000 plus the $6,000 plus what I've paid in this year, I mean, it's worth 5x the value.
Correct.
I mean, it truly is.
Yeah.
But net with the brokerage this year, they've paid me more than I've paid them. It's kind of a no-brainer.
Yes.
Right.
Right? At the end of the day, it becomes a no-brainer. Where did my water
And
go?
if while you're searching for water, you asked about our recruitment model, so let's kind of go back over there. Let me go back on that straight for a minute.
I'll prep the question a little bit to where so the audience understands, because what I've seen is
Mike's gonna die
a good group of the people that I know and obviously are working with you guys, or that I've seen, at least my perception is anyway, they were working with some of these brokerages that have kind of hit their lid, and just to keep running, with the herd as far as with the bandwidth, their bandwidth kind of started to fade. And then of course, Real comes along, and now they're jumping on the Real bus because the bandwidth is huge, and and giving them all the tools on the back side that unfortunately the mom and pop brokers just doesn't have the bandwidth to provide.
Right. I think it's a little bit of that, but I also think people see Mike, myself, the team of agents that have entrusted us to get on, I think it's funny, the Real bus. I guess we're going to go with that.
We're on the bus.
They're on the bus. And they're like, I want a seat on the bus. Like, we want to ride with you for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that makes us different, is especially Mike and I, is we will open our playbook to anybody. We don't care if you're with Real. We don't care if you're with some other brokerage. We just want to collaborate. We want to give people resources to help them grow. People see that, and they see you living that out with purpose, and then they see the return on investment. Then they see, oh my gosh, you guys make it look so easy, and it really is that easy. Maybe I do need to come over to Real, and it just kind of stirs a thought in their mind for when they are ready to start shopping brokerages. And then typically we're getting those phone calls. Come meet with us. It's not us saying, come have coffee with me. Yes, we do coffee meetups. Yes, we do masterminds. That's to enhance the collaboration amongst the real estate agents in the community, broker agnostic, which is why we ask people, don't even wear a name tag to the meeting because we don't care.
Right.
What when you are having these meetings with someone prospective, someone who's or is curious about Real, what are the challenges that they're or what are they not getting at their current? Because now they're looking because they're not getting something where they're at.
Yeah.
Right. So what are the oftentimes what are they looking? And then is there some things, you know, obviously there's a match and you're like, oh yeah, we have that. We can help you there and really accelerate your business. But there's probably is there anything that some of these people may have said, hey, I'm looking for this, but it's not there?
So I'll speak
Real.
I'll speak on the community and the collaboration side, and I'll let Mike handle the other side. That's typically how we do it. People often are not leaving a brokerage because of money. We have people that are 100% agents, and they leave brokerages all the time. We have independent agents who are single agent brokerage themselves, and they leave. People right now are craving community, not a sales meeting. They don't want to show up on a random Wednesday for your sales meeting where you just regurgitate everything that was in the Florida Realtor and NAR email that we all get anyway. I know because I was at brokerages like this.
And the sales manager or whatever, the broker just put it together with the hour before the meeting.
Yeah. And nobody really nobody really talks to the partners that bring the breakfast. They just eat the breakfast. They don't remember who you were that actually provided the breakfast. Number 3, no one really cares that the same agent is the top volume producing agent month over month, except that agent and their whole social media feed. Right? There's a time and a place for recognition. What agents crave is, I want to hear from someone that is doing what I want to do this month and give me some 3 tactical things that I can do.
Yes, and light bulbs, yeah.
Right. They want that. They want to feel a sense of camaraderie in a room. Wherever that room is, it can be over a Zoom that we get on a lot. Like we get on an Agent Unite call, and it is like we're in the room together, right? They want that. That's the biggest piece of the puzzle that I think. They don't need another place to go meet. They don't need a lunch spot. They don't need a coffee shop. They want to know that they have value and that they matter, and they want to feel that they're part of something bigger than themselves. That's something that nobody can touch with your cap.
Well, let me go deeper on you there. They don't know what they don't know. Often they don't know what you're talking about. Now, obviously, I've seen what you guys do. On the surface, at least what's on social media, your different events that you're holding, and you sent over collaboration last night. I understood what you're doing, but the agent who's sitting in front of you, well, I guess maybe they're asking because maybe they're seeing their friend of theirs is part of it and going, oh, they're going to these meetings, they're having these things. Tell me more about that. I want to be plugged into that.
That's exactly what happened. Okay. So, I mean, you saw the post yesterday of the 3 of us girls on a 360 photo thing. I didn't want to do that, but they made me, so we did it, and it was fun. Yeah. And then we went to a little after party. I didn't want to do that. I kind of want to go to bed because I'm old and I'm tired. But what I went home with last night was joy watching those girls connect and learn how to network and being a part of a team and having a good time together. That's what people are looking for. But you hit a good point, Tracy. They don't know that's what they're looking for. Yeah. Until they see you living your life out. And then they're like, I want a little piece of that. Can we talk a little more? And that's one thing that Mike and I take pride in is asking, why would you even leave to begin with? And then they start telling you. The second part of it is monetary, right? Because you can't just have the warm fuzz. You gotta have the money too. Right. And that's where Mike's really good at articulating what our brand brings in terms of our return on investment. And he's also really good about infusing that with us and saying, hey, here's what I made last month. I want to help you too. You need to do 1, 2, and 3. You can do this. And instead of just saying, Gigi, if you just do this, you'll do great. And he's like, no, Gigi, you need to focus on 1, 2, and 3 to meet your goal. Oh, and by the way, let's hop on a call. Let me show you how to do it. That's the difference.
We're going to get into money next, but I wanted to add, of the agents that you have in the greater Northeast Florida that you're close to, when you guys have your events or face-to-face meetings or in gatherings, how many of them, you just mentioned earlier, 70-something% of the agents didn't even produce. Are you seeing the synergy of what you're doing by this collaboration of, you know, going to events together. They're not on an island. They're actually part of something, that it's creating a mojo that, you know, of the 80 some agents here in the area that you're close to and touching, are they, majority of them are doing business?
Yeah, we had on our team 2 days ago, young lady who's just been struggling, and she came up to me, I think at the Breakfast of Champions, and she goes, Gigi, I landed 2 listings this week, Kiki.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. I was more excited about her win than myself, right?
Right.
So she got 2 new listings. Bella, who's an upcoming agent, I mean, she's just rocking it in AI, killing the social media game. She called me and said, hey, we got to run through a listing presentation. I got a referral from a social media, and they want to be on a call like in an hour. And I said, okay, so tell me your plan. She walked it through with me. She told me yesterday, hey, they interviewed another agent. I landed the listing, and I was like, that a girl. And so we're seeing not just the leadership winning, but our groups are winning. And I think when you see that in a movement, that's a movement that agents want to hitch their cart to, not just a.
They want to be part of
a
greater, something greater than themselves. Most people do.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's dig into the financial dynamics.
Okay.
Tell us about our revenue streams at Real.
Okay. So obviously the first, commission, right? We're in production. That's going to be the biggest one. So 85-15 split. 85% to the agent, 15 to Real, up to $12,000. Beyond that, it was $30, now it's a $40 broker review E&O fee per transaction. Okay. Once you cap, now you're going to be paying just $285 per transaction plus that 40. So $3.25 per transaction, but 100% commission for your anniversary year. So we joined, I think my real anniversary was like over the weekend.
Right.
So we're coming up on 1 year. So the month you join, the month after the following year, so June 1 is when my cap will reset. So I've been at 100% since like July of last year, which is awesome. One of the other real draws for top producing agents is when you pay $6,000 in post cap fees, that $285, which is about 22 transactions. Now it takes me longer to get there because most of my transactions, there's an agent partner on my team that's a part of it. So that gets prorated, that $285 between the agent and the team lead, same way the split is. But when you hit 6,000, 2 things happen. That post-cap transaction fee goes down to $129. So I benefit, but so does the agent that's doing deals now, because now their proration is now a smaller number. That also triggers $16,000 of real stock award that vests over 3 years. So I've paid in 18, but I've got 16 in a 3-year vested stock. Good trade. Then there's opportunities Gigi mentioned earlier, the Real Academy, the people that are allowed to train in Real Academy, which is our online training portal. Everything's recorded, everything's archived, everything's searchable. You can watch it from anywhere, you can watch it live. The people that are doing that have to be in that elite agent program. So that's where, to her point, is not somebody teaching you a technique from 10 years ago. These are people in the trenches crushing it today across a myriad of subjects. Another way to earn that is just giving back to the community, which is a value of mine and my wife's. We support several nonprofits in the area. Basically, I just show the receipts to Real, and they're like, thank you for being a good corporate citizen. Here's another $8,000 in Real stock, same 3-year vesting period. So $24,000 of stock awards in year 1, not to mention stock awards for capping. Stock awards when an agent that you bring into the company closes their first deal. So I've lost track of the stock grants that I've been awarded. All the gifted stock vests over 3 years. So is it a bit of a golden handcuff? For sure. So I was with EXP for 4 years. I left about $20-some thousand in unvested stock,
right,
to join Real. And that's when Gigi's like, wait a minute, you're a numbers guy. That makes no sense.
right.
I'm looking to the future. I'm looking at the tomorrow dollars of it all. So that's what was very attractive to me, the stock purchase plan as well. When I had my staffing company, I had a profit share plan. I had 401k. I had all the things to build wealth for the future. Being able to buy real stock with 5% of my commission before cap and 10% after cap, and then getting a 10% bonus before cap and a 15% bonus after cap. Like, why wouldn't I? That vests in a year.
Yeah.
So if I have $500 before capping, they're going to give me $550 worth of real stock. After capping, that goes to a 15% bonus. So I'm just stacking for the future.
Well, I mean, retention is one of the biggest, things. I have any brokerage, right? You put all this time and effort into somebody, and are you able to actually get a return? If you're a broker and you bring somebody on, you're providing them a desk or whatever it is, there's an expense. As you know, in staffing, there's an expense to bring somebody on. Yeah. And to put that in there, that 3 years, and to get an agent to stay with you for 3 years, and especially if you got a lot of young agents that are working with you, it might take them a year or two before they really start to roll, and then when they start to roll, this stuff starts to pop for them. Now, of course, now they're extending it out 3 years, right? Because now they're starting to get those options. They're hitting cap. They're hitting these things and going. So to me, that's brilliant. And as a team lead, that takes a lot of pressure off of you, because the Real itself has built this into their mothership.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when I went to the team, nobody was a thumbs down because their cap went down and their split went up. We were at 80-20 to 16 before. Team agents were 80-20 to 8. Now they're 85-15 to 6. Same GCI gets you there. It's the same gross commission income. It's about $80,000. However, you're getting more of it each transaction up front. And that matters to people.
Well, also too, Mike, where we previously came from, there's a monthly fee, a pay to play, regardless of whether you transact.
Yep.
And I think a lot of agents, especially in this last year, I mean, it's been
70 something, and even
a little bit of a roller coaster here. If you haven't noticed that, we got a little firestorm going on, and a lot of agents were coming and saying, "Well, wait, there's not an actual just monthly fee I have to pay if I don't transact." And I love being able to tell a new agent that and show them how that works. And then also, we do tell people you should interview multiple brokerages because you don't know what your fit is, especially a newer agent. But the tool that Mike has, where it compares all the different brokerages, we're giving them an unbiased, here's the numbers, here's the facts, because there's no emotion in that part.
Right.
And an agent can then make a financial decision of, oh, okay, I can afford to join a brokerage and not feel like I have to come up with $100 to $200 to $300 a month for a monthly fee until I transact. So that's one thing. The second part of it is, we can build that business plan with them right out of the gate. So to your point of it might take them a while to launch, we're actually finding that newer agents that come to Real are actually launching faster exponentially as compared to going to companies that are those traditional brick and mortars that have built-in training programs and, you drink the Kool-Aid. That's all great. But it takes a while to implement some of those. And I know that because I was a new agent. And I know where I started. And I remember Buffini. You guys remember Buffini? Love it. Great program. But if you were an agent like me, and I'm going to call my mom every day and say, "Hey, Mom, you want to sell your house today? Hey, I mailed you a Thanksgiving card, Mom." It's like, get out of here with that. And I just found myself sitting there and staring at the screen and going, I don't really know what to do. With Real, that platform as an agent, part of that first 12 weeks, it's telling you exactly what you can do to generate some business and to also learn and infuse yourself in the culture. And a lot of agents are looking for that right now. The second part of that is if you're not a new agent, because we're seeing a lot of seasoned agents come to us and they're like, "Nope, just put me in that, seasoned agent training." We're like, "Okay." And then they call and they go, "How do I get in the new agent launch? Because this girl's doing this and I didn't even know we had that program on the step-by-step 412 method to an open house." And we're like, "Oh, that's in the new agent training." And they're going, "Oh, maybe I should go there." So it is kind of nice to have a track to run on. You've got a solid group to come to. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And they've compared the model and vetted it against every other model. And they've proven in social proof this is how it works. And then I think for Mike and I, going back to your recruitment thing, that's why we kept saying, no, we don't recruit, because we're just doing this. We're living our life, and people ask a question to us or any of the 80-something people that are in his organization and with mine. We just tell them our experience. So there is no script. We don't meet with our agents and go, okay, Sarah, when you go to coffee today, you need to say, this is your framework, and you need to say this, and then you got to do. We don't ever do that. Ask the 83 agents that are in our group, and they'll tell you we've never done that. Now, they come to us and ask how to have a conversation with someone.
We rarely bring it up.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the newer agents that Sarah and I co-sponsored, we had just been connected, and I was just a fan of her business, honestly. I was very impressed with what she does, and we're both foster parents, and we kind of bonded over that. And go to coffee because Sarah had a great book that I thought would be relevant to a post she put up. So they get coffee, and at the end of it, it's like, so how do I sign up with Real? Like, this wasn't even the intent. Literally wasn't the intent of the meeting.
That's great.
But I think she had seen over time, like, hey, here's, like, I want to come alongside, I want to do life with you. And that's kind of the thing. I tell people, I'm like, look, we're going to be doing this with or without you. It'd be super cool if you were here with us, though. Right? People that we really like and respect in the business. And there's a lot of them in this town.
Well,
but if they don't come to Real, guess what? No problem. We're still good. Like, I'm still going to help you. I hope when I come to you with a challenge, you'll help me, because I haven't figured it all out. Like, I'm not 10 out of 10 on anything. So I want to just keep those relationships. But when people do have curiosity, I want to be able to understand the model at the depth that I do. And it took me probably 6 months to really learn before I recorded a video that said, hey, here's what breaks it down. So now when people reach out, I just send them a 25-minute video and say, hey, check this out.
And then call me with any questions.
And let me know what resonates or what questions you have. And I'm like, hey, if you don't care about rev share, you don't care about stock awards, it's only about splits and fees, watch to minute 12, right? Don't watch the rest. If you want to learn about the tech, watch this.
So you to that agents out there doing business now, but the value add obviously to their brokerage. So they're looking, and I know some people would like that. What the support mechanisms you have? I would imagine as I think you mentioned earlier, how quickly there's a huge amount of marketing at your fingertips, types of thing. What are some of the things you're using? And you guys are probably using. Give us a story. Give us a real factual. Hey, how you use Real.
100%.
Yeah.
I'll just go from you're leaving a brokerage. The number one thing you think is, oh no,
I got to rebrand all my stuff. Right?
I got to print everything, and I got to know the fonts and this. You can click one button that says marketing. Click your state. Gives you all of the parameters. You can take that and order right there if you want. Okay, because you have time or you have money, one or the other. So if you don't have a lot of time, just do what they did and order from them. Or you can send that to your print person and say, here's all the requirements. You've made this sign for me in the past. It needs to be this now. It's also very user-friendly in Canva. So that's one way. The other way is if you're not a creative person and you don't like playing in Canva. I personally do, because I'm an old G from creative memory scrapbook days, and Canva kind of feels like a scrapbook. I can go in there and play around with it. For the agent that's like, I don't want to do any of that, everything's prefab for you within the program. So like Mike said, when you put your listing in there, you can easily just click a marketing component, and it's got prefab stuff you can use, right? That's like the simple piece of it. The second part of it is Mike's like my chat GPT for Real, breaking down like the analytics. And so he's created a great email template. So when someone says they want to know about Real, and I go, cool, copy, paste, drop it in a Gmail template. The subject line is Real Deets. And it says exactly what he said. Watch to this number. It's simple. Yeah. I'm not going to recreate that video because he's done a great job with it.
Yeah.
And, we share that with people. The third piece of it that I think is really cool is as an agent, maybe you have a team and you're trying to figure out like how to run a team meeting. They have I hate to say they have an app for that, but they have something for that. Right. So the thing that you need is just right there. You just have to type it, and it's going to take you right to it. It's not go to this app and wait in this room and then connect this to this integration and then this thing zaps to here. No, it's one click, simple. You can be in your car, sitting in the parking lot, waiting to go on a podcast and look something up with ease and say, all right, order.
Is there anything from just, obviously sometimes we get creative and go outside, but for the day-to-day things that you're doing as a real estate agent, as far as marketing is concerned, is there anything that it doesn't offer you wish it did? Have you run across something?
I think personal branding. If you're, I'm a big personal brand person, as you guys all know, my face is on everything except my socks at this point.
There are sites where you can put your
I think I'll get that. And, because I do get teased a lot about that. Do you just like looking at your face? No, but other people do. Like the guy at Goodwill when I dropped off my donations 2 weeks ago and said, hey, you're a realtor. And I'm like, no, really, I am. Yeah. And he's like, you want to come talk about my mom's house? I just fully renovated it. Yeah. There's a reason my face is on everything. So it doesn't do that piece of it yet. But I bet if we ask for it and there's enough demand, it's probably coming soon to a theater near you, because I've seen that in several other areas of the business where we ask for something and then all of a sudden it comes out, or you thought of it and you're like, oh my gosh, I was just thinking about this last week, and they rolled it out. So there's just so many tools for every type of person in this business. As you've noticed in this talk, Mike is highly analytical. I am highly creative and out of the box. It works for both of us. And there's always somebody within the group that has a different skill set. I mean, say, hey, what are you using for that?
Right.
And I know that you have a ton of collaboration with some luxury agents. And I would love him to talk about that, because I bet there is a slew of luxury agents probably watching this and going, but is real for me, because I'm supposed to be with a luxury boutique brokerage. So I think that's a piece we missed.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about
luxury? Yeah. Well, I want to go with the same question. I'm like, what is like your, if I'm an agent, give me a real like rubber meets the road. Hey, when I get a listing or when I get a buyer's agent, boom, it's already plugged in. These are things that Real's already got. Maybe obviously tailored with 904 home guide, so forth, whatever. But it's there, and it's just plug and play. Boom, you have it in seconds versus hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Can he call Ed Nana and ask her?
No, I know this. She does it, but I know it. So it's that marketing center. So when you put that MLS listing in, you got to make sure it's in the MLS so the photos are all there, because it's going to pull those in for you. Whether it's open house, just listed, price reduction, whatever that looks like, it's there. And there's several templates, and you just swap out. Let's say it's got 4 or 5 pictures. You don't like the ones that the AI chose. You swap those out, brand it. It's ready to go. So when we have people host open houses for us that are not on the team, and Nana's got it, okay, great. She gets her headshot, pops it in there, shoots it over to them, they're ready to go. So they've got something shareable on social, they've got something printable, brochures, it can do all of that as well. So that's a time saver, because we're not having to go into a Canva template. And sometimes we do, right? We'll tweak things a little bit.
But you also know it's compliant, and that's a big important thing. I'm seeing a lot of non-compliant forms.
Yeah.
So that's been helpful. To her point about luxury, so I'm part of Real's luxury division. We actually have the most stringent guidelines to be part of our luxury division. So it's part of the guild and the CLHMS, I forget what it is, something luxury home marketing. But I think the price point break for us is it's at least 6 transactions north of 750,000. 3 of them have to be listings. That's not easy to achieve, right? Now, as our price points have gone up, it definitely has, but that's getting syndication to Mansions Global, to Barron's, to Wall Street Journal, not to mention the other, I think the group now is about 250, 270 agents within Real that are part of our luxury division. So Kofi Narte is one of the heads of this. He was a Compass agent. He also had his own brokerage, and he saw what we've all seen, right? And being able to collaborate and chat with him about challenging, unique listings is priceless, and being able to give our sellers that value add on top of what we do from video marketing and targeting those videos where they need to go, where our relocation buyers are, but being able to share that within that group and having referral partners now, both inbound and outbound, is super helpful to know I've got people that are on the level that didn't just do a 2-hour class and now they're luxury certified, right? It's not easy. And they hold your feet to the fire. Like when we do our masterminds every month, the last one, price of admission was, you're going to do this culture survey. Another one was, hey, the top 3 were going to share their listing checklists and things. It's like, here comes a Google sheet, about 30 things we had to fill out just to gain entrance to that meeting, to get access to, here are the things that we're doing, and being able to pick and choose and say, okay, we're going to swap this out of ours because it's not effective and put this in instead.
I guess from a non-real estate agent side, I do get mind boggled with the, hey, I'm a luxury agent or I'm this type of agent. Is there some tree of leads that are coming down differently than another area where someone's getting luxury? I just don't. I can't get my arm.
It's gonna get real good.
I just can't get my arm because I think there's agents out there do a really great job, and they're going to treat whether that's a $1.5, $2 million home or a $500,000 home, they treat it. With like they're dealing with $5 million homes. Or whatever. That's just because they run a professional excellence service.
Right.
To put the luxury tag on it doesn't really bring an agent who is not luxury to a level that they aren't already delivering.
I think it's just collaborating with other people that are playing in those price points because it's different. The buyers are very different.
Yeah.
They don't want to. The worst thing you can do is waste their time. The time they know is the only non-renewable resource.
Get to the point.
Have.
Let's move on. Yeah.
So some of it is that, and also just the network and just knowing the right people. So Kofi runs a team in LA and in Las Vegas. However, he's collaborated in Utah with people to help them sell their listings. So just having that extra layer of support. But to your point, Tracy, just saying you're a luxury agent doesn't bring luxury buyers and sellers flocking to you.
Yeah.
It's going to be your track record like anything else. Like when Gigi goes on a listing presentation, she knows her numbers. She knows, hey, our MLS, the list to sold is this. Right. Mine is higher. Days on market is this.
She just doesn't use the word mega open house with them.
Right.
Yes.
It's a party.
We're going to get to that.
It's a party.
I hope we get to that because listen, we came to disrupt. You said disrupt.
That's right. I did. I ChatGPT threw that in there. I didn't even realize.
So let's talk about this whole. Mike says it's so sweet. Let's talk about this whole luxury agent versus regular agent. There's no such thing. Right.
It's a designation.
Yeah.
It's like something on the email signature.
But it is.
I do like the collaboration part because you have people who are selling, they're in LA, they are, they're that level and they want someone to connect them with because they do have real estate agents, those people at that level. And they need someone, hey, who do you know in Jacksonville?
Right.
And that I can see being the.
But let's talk about it like briefly surface level. So, because that is a good question that you bring. Because a lot of people do say, well, what does it mean if you're a luxury agent, and what does it mean if you're not? Is one better than the other? No, it's a pillar of business, and I think people have forgotten that in real estate, there's so many ways to do the business. Like you said in the beginning, every agent does it a little different, right? That's why we can collaborate and not compete. Number one. Number two, luxury agent is a niche business or niche. How do you say it?
Riches are in the niches.
Niches, fine. Okay, that's how we're going to say it. Someone's going to probably troll me on here and say I said it wrong. But you choose to be a luxury agent because that's probably an area that you work, live, and spend your time. Like when you're choosing how you want to work, it needs to be something that's literally bringing you a passion that every day you wake up and you're like, I'm really excited to do this today. even the stuff you don't like about it. To Mike's point about luxury and real, you can't just say you're a luxury agent. I think sometimes we use that word luxury too loosely in our industry, and we should be fact-checking. And Real's already done that because they said, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're not going to just say you're a luxury agent. You're going to be a luxury agent. Here's social proof that you are. Oh, and by the way, here's the tools that you're going to use with your branding. There's specific branding that has to go with luxury listings.
Right. That
sets those agents apart and elevates them so that they can get in rooms with Kofi. If you don't know who Kofi is, then you should probably go watch Selling Sunset sometime. And like a million other companies that he owns. So that's what I wanted to say about luxury, and that's how I wanted to differentiate real luxury agents. Now I want to talk to the agents in Northeast Florida that do not work in luxury. They're the me's. The T-shirt, the Nike girls or boys. You're just who you are. You can make a great living off of a $200,000 house to a $5 million house. We're going to treat everybody like it's their luxury because guess what? That blue collar mom and pop that goes out and works 2 and 3 jobs to save up just enough money to get the down payment, that small little house and that payment is huge to them. And so we want to treat them with a luxury experience. And that's why I think sometimes the word gets used a little too loosely, right? Yeah. So we have agents that ask me all the time, why don't you do luxury? And I always balk at it.
Well,
I don't want to.
I always tease them when they say, luxury is it's a level of service, or what do they say? It's not the price point; it's the level of service. Okay, so that means you went to you've been combed and people have checked you on the level of service. You've gotten enough not referrals, but accolades from your clients saying how great you were in the service you delivered, because that's truly what you're talking. And I always tell people, you never know how many of these $200,000 people work for the $2 million home buyer, and the $2 million home buyer goes, oh, you had a great transaction because the guy's telling them at work, oh man, my real estate agent was great. Tell me about that real estate agent. I need to sell my house. You just don't know who's
and I'll give you an example of that. I went on an appointment and I'm going on, I don't even know, 4 or 5 years now in real estate. I don't even know at this point. I guess I'm one of those OGs now because I don't even know how long I've done it. I survived COVID and a couple market shifts and some new NAR requirements. So here I am. Okay. I guess I got some stripes. I still go on for sell by owner preview appointments because they're just fun to me. I enjoy understanding why for sell by owners want to sell on their own, because I get paid to do this job and it's incredibly difficult. And I just wonder why someone who is not fully educated wants to be a for sale by owner, and I have such respect for them because they're just paying themselves from the proceeds of their homes, right? So I meet with this gentleman with the intention of helping him sell on his own, leaving him some resource tools. And yes, I'll plug, if anybody wants my for sale by owner kit, I got you. Just message me, Gigi of Jax. You just have to follow me on Instagram. Super simple. I'll get that to you. And I give that to these people. So I met with this gentleman about a month or 2 ago. He decided not to list his home. After talking with me, took it off Zillow and just said, I'm just going to just wait. It's just not the right time for me due to his wife's schedule and where they're moving. Week or 2 later, stay in touch with him, sending him market updates, just loving on him. I get this phone call while I'm helping another seller stage their house. And it's this guy, and he's like, would you come over and talk to me and my wife? We're in the middle of moving our stuff out of our house. We got this great off-market deal, and our neighbor is just raving about you. And there's several agents that, live in close proximity, but we just feel like we need to talk to you. T-shirt, ripped up shorts, hairs in some kind of situation. I said, look, I can come meet with you, but I don't have anything prepared. I look like I've been staging a house, and I hear his wife laughing in the back, and she said, well, our kids are running around shoeless, and we have boxes everywhere, and I'm pretty sure we don't smell that great. So come on over. So I go over there, and I'm walking the house and just talking with them, and they told me who referred me. It was the first sale by owner guy. I'd never done a transaction with him.
Right.
And that's why I'm so strong in the fact that you serve without selling. And at some point, it's coming back to you. Sometimes we don't get it quick enough.
Right.
So in this case, it was pretty quick, right? So that happens. now for sale by owner has called me back and said, hey, by the way, you mind running one of those reports on this house? I'm kind of thinking about not moving away and staying here. And we walked the property this week. We talked through it. We're coming up with an offer strategy. So it's about how we treat people, and it's about the experience we provide them, no matter the price point. And by the way, the house we've listed is close to $700,000, and I'm not going to do luxury. Remember?
Oh, she doesn't want to be labeled a luxury agent.
I'm not a luxury agent.
She's not going to let
I keep getting,
you don't want to be a luxury
these homes and this price point now.
I was just combing my questions here just to see if there was anything we missed. Am I correct? The wallet, when we talk about the financial, that's almost like a debit card, and your commissions are going right
so
on it?
So it is a debit card, and they also have now, there's a tax planning account that you can link to that, where it will basically make sure, because a lot of agents that don't run their business like a business forget about taxes. They don't do their estimated payments, and then it's a big surprise at the end of the year.
Oh, you mean they don't have a business plan or a strategy?
That's it. Huh. So this has a tax planning account where it funnels money off and saves it so that you're ready for tax.
So they don't have to go by the office and pick up a check. They don't have to wait for it to be mailed to them. They actually are getting it.
Yeah, well,
within.
So most checks we get from the title company in the name of my LLC. So it's called a split CDA. So we collect a check for us. We collect a check for Real. We deposit that on our phone, the Real check. That transaction closes probably within 2 hours of that being done.
Right.
But we're already paid. So where the Real wallet comes in, that's where revenue share payments are going. That's where referral payments are going. That's where, like when you do new build deals, we just did one with Lennar and D.R. Horton, right? They're not doing the split DA. So when that money hits Real, they put it in your wallet. But the tax planning account, I don't take advantage of it just because the way I run my business through an LLC, it's a little different. But a solopreneur that doesn't have an LLC, it's going to save the taxes for them. And then in Canada currently, they will look at the balance. They'll look at your pending. They'll look at your rev share coming up. They'll look at your stock. There are agents in Canada that have a line of credit they can draw against.
Interesting.
Who else is doing that?
Right.
And that will be rolled out in the States at some point.
Right.
Where let's say they know, hey, okay, you got a month where it's a little light and you need a little cash infusion of $10,000.
I love it.
Right? You can, through your Real wallet going forward, say, okay, throw $10,000 into my operating account that I don't have, and then they're just going to take it out of that next commission check and a small interest charge. Whole lot easier than going to a bank and everything you have to provide to them. So they're giving agents the tools, and think about it. As that Real wallet balance grows, let's say you want to buy an investment property, you might be able to get a line of credit for the down payment and then pay it off with commissions down the road.
Right.
So,
did we miss anything here on our list? I'm going through. I think we. Anything else we want to say about Real that I'm going through my notes and so forth. We talked about the collaboration. We covered the money, the tools. I guess the last question would probably be, what are some of the things? You talked about making suggestions. Maybe it will come in the future, but I imagine Real itself is foreshadowing. What new tech is they working on to make the job easier? Are they putting anything out there right now that, hey, look for, this is what we're working on type of thing?
A lot of AI tools, and one of the things they've realized is trying to compete with the portals with like customer-facing websites. Like they're not going to compete with Zillow, so they're like, your website is not going to be a website. It's going to be an AI chat that's going to move people down the funnel that show some interest, asking the right questions and pre-qualifying, and then moving that discussion to where now that AI assistant is booking appointments. That's a whole lot more valuable than just sending home. So the AI, just what I've seen in Leo and how it's learning and improving and being able to answer questions better, when you layer more agents, we're at 27,000. The more agents are on the platform, the more learning that happens with any machine learning environment, right?
100%.
The more inputs, the better the outputs become. So, that's very exciting. And, one of the things for me is looking back a year, the model is what brought us here, but it's the community and the collaboration that I've been more excited about and not expected that way, because I knew a lot of the people already, but I knew them at a periphery, and now we're just a lot closer. And the masterminds that I attend, like I was in Tom Ferry coaching, I gave it up because I was paying $12,000 a year for a 30-minute coaching session once a week that wasn't always at the right time.
Right.
Now Eric Hatch is an amazing coach. He runs a CEO Connect every Monday. I don't miss it. It's an hour. It's free because I'm part of REAL. It's on Zoom with a bunch of other leaders that speaks to where I am in my business. It's for team leads, growing it the right way, doing it with balance in your life, where some of the other coaching programs were all just growth for the sake of growth.
That's your $12,000 cap right there. You just get going back and getting that coaching right there. It's amazing what some of these coaches are charging, and people are paying for them. And then at the end, you're like, did I move the needle with that? Where did I?
Right.
Yeah.
And the access to him, like I know this coming week we're talking running client events the right way, and that's a pillar of my business. I guarantee you I will take something out of that to where my next event is going to be better than the one before.
Now, can anyone tap into Mr. Hatch's coaching, or you reach a certain level, you get into that?
No, that's anyone at REAL.
Right.
He puts it out there.
He goes live for an hour every Monday, and you can.
If
Anyone can tap
anybody
in.
wants, I'll send you the link. Jump on the call.
They can interact. You can interact, obviously, virtually with them. Ask a question, and
he many times makes it awkward and says, "I'm not talking. Unmute. I want to hear your takeaways, or I want to hear what's working for you."
So he puts you on the spot a little bit sometimes.
And that's a lot better than just talking at somebody and just presenting. Yeah, it's one of the 50 masterminds every week.
There's so many that you can be a part of. There's, the women of REAL. I mean, my goodness, I can't tell you how many female preneurs in REAL that just blow my mind.
Yeah.
Like Erica Wolf, Katie Day. Like that's
Shannon Gillette.
Oh my gosh. Like she's huge.
Yeah,
right?
I did message her one time to come on the show. She didn't respond.
Shannon, come on the show,
Shannon.
And you can come hang out with me and Mike for the day.
Yeah.
We'll get her on here.
Yeah, but there's a media or a social media mastermind. So that's Katie Day and Bob Tompkins and Ray
really
Allen.
good.
So that, for people that want to leverage social, they're on the cutting edge, right? You want to learn video, okay? You got Jeremy Larson, you got Brad McCallum, two of the best, or Jeremy Knight and Brad McCallum, two of the best YouTube channels.
Oh.
Don't reinvent it.
Don't forget.
Go learn from them.
Don't forget to talk about this. Oh my gosh.
What?
You guys are all invited. Next Wednesday, 12 to 5.
Oh, yeah, Real X.
We are hosting Real X. And
12 to 5, Real X.
The world is confused. Is this one of those like evangelical Gigi and Mike bring people in snake handle and recruit them into REAL?
Reach behind you and tap that laptop. See if it brings it back to life. I lost my logo.
Let's talk about the tech that we have.
Yeah, let's talk about the tech.
You're good with that.
So 12 to 5.
12 to 5. It's going to be at First Coast Mortgage because they have a large training room for us. I love you, Tracy.
Yeah, I know.
It's a big room.
That's drawing the line right there.
I need a room. We do have a room. Most times we're at Landmark Title, but we're landlocked that day. There's just not enough space, and this happened so quickly that we had to go somewhere quick where we could house 30 to 40 people. That's what we think's coming. But a lot of people are asking, is this event for just real agents? Do you have to work with that particular company, mortgage company? No. This is just come here and learn from, there's 18 speakers?
A lot of good speakers, yeah. So I'm just telling people, look, if you want to come throughout the day, just pop in, pop out. It's 5 hours. That's a big time commitment. I don't even know that I'll be there all 5 hours.
Yeah.
But
it's going to be a lot.
We'll get you the recording and everything else, but real estate conferences, travel, expense, all that. This is a mini condensed conference with some very powerful, impactful speakers with tactical, what's working today, implement your business ideas. If you want to come by, come by. If you want a link to the recording after, we're happy to send that as well. I think it's going to be a good event. I always look forward to these little mini ones because
you gotta get a little juice.
8
get a
hours
little,
at a convention center can get rough.
We've done them at, we've also
and
done
having
them
the
at,
travel on top of it.
We've done them at new construction too. The last one we did was a watch party on
The business plan
one sheeter. We had agents from every single brokerage there. We had lenders coming and saying, I want to write my business plan. Can I come hang out?
Right.
We had a media team there. So that's another piece of Real that I think is really cool is that from the top down, is just open your playbook. Share with other people with no expectation of a return. You don't need a specific space to be in. And maybe when you go to your new space, Tracy, we have somewhere else we can come hang out with our people.
Maybe. I don't think it has that, but I do have some other areas I have access to.
But that's
we can talk
event.
about after show.
So I just want everyone to know that Real X is not for us to bring you to our brand and to pour the Kool-Aid on you. For those of you that have been in MLM, you're probably freaking out right now. It's not going to be like that, but definitely let us know if you're coming because space is limited. So we do need to have a count for them.
Excellent. I appreciate you guys coming on today.
Thanks for having us.
Hopefully our audience got